When I was 19, I had to make the hardest decision of my life. Go to university like everyone expected me to, or keep building a business alone with no safety net. I was terrified, but here's what helped me decide. I could live with failure. I couldn't live with regret. Right now, you might be standing at your own fork in the road. You have two paths that you can choose, two ways that you can go, either courage or comfort. I want to encourage, motivate, and inspire you to take the path of courage, because here is an example of what happens when you take the path of comfort. I will read a story to you. It might give you goosebumps. It might make you feel some sort of way. I found it on George Mack's Twitter and it's unbelievable. You just need to hear this. So listen up. Here is what happens when you take the path of comfort instead of the path of courage. The story of John. Hi, my name is John. I've been lurking for a while, but I finally made an account to post this. I need to get my life off my chest. About me. I'm a 46-year-old banker and I have been living my whole life the opposite of how I wanted. All my dreams, my passion, gone. In a steady 9 to 7 job. 6 days a week. For 26 years. I repeatedly chose the safe path for everything, which eventually changed who I was. Today, I found out my wife has been cheating on me for the last 10 years. My son feels nothing for me. I realized I missed my father's funeral for nothing. I didn't complete my novel, traveling the world, helping the homeless. All these things I thought I knew to be a certainty about myself when I was in my late teens and early 20s. If my younger self had met me today, I would have punched myself in the face. I'll get to how those dreams were crushed soon. Let's start with a description of me when I was 20. It seemed only yesterday when I was sure I was going to change the world. People loved me, and I loved people. I was innovative, creative, spontaneous, risk-taking, and great with people. I had two dreams. The first was writing a utopic dystopic book. The second was traveling the world and helping the poor and homeless. I had been dating my wife for 4 years by then. Young love. She loved my spontaneity, my energy, my ability to make people laugh and feel loved. I knew my book was going to change the world. I would show the perspective of the bad and the twisted, showing my viewers that everybody thinks differently, that people never think what they do is wrong. I was 70 pages through when I was 20. I am still 70 pages in at 46. By 20, I had backpacking around New Zealand and the Philippines. I planned to do all of Asia, then Europe, then America. I live in Australia, by the way. To date, I have only been to New Zealand and the Philippines. Now, we get to where it all went wrong. My biggest regrets. I was 20. I was the only child. I needed to be stable. I needed to take the graduate job, which would dictate my whole life. To devote my entire life in a 9 to 7 job. What was I thinking? How could I live when the job was my life? After coming home, I would eat dinner, prepare my work for the following day, and sleep at 10 p.m. to wake up at 6 a.m. the following day. God, I can't remember the last time I've made love to my wife. Yesterday, my wife admitted to cheating on me for the last 10 years. 10 years. That seems like a long time, but I can't comprehend it. It doesn't even hurt. She says it's because I've changed. I'm not the person I was. What have I been doing in the last 10 years, outside of work? I really can't say anything. Not being a proper husband. Not being me. Who am I? What happened to me? I didn't even ask for a divorce, or yell at her, or cry. I felt nothing. Now, I can feel a tear as I write this, but not because my wife has been cheating on me, but because I am now realizing I have been dying inside. What happened to that fun-loving, risk-taking, energetic person that was me? Hungering to change the world. I remember being asked on a date by the most popular girl in the school, but declining her for my now wife. God, I was really popular with the girls in high school. In university, college too, but I stayed loyal. I didn't explore. I studied every day. I remember all that backpacking and book writing I told you about? That was in the first few years of college. I worked part-time and splurged all that I had earned. Now I save every penny. I don't remember a time I spent anything on anything fun or anything for myself. What do I even want now? My father passed 10 years ago. I remember getting calls from mom telling me how he was getting sicker and sicker. I was getting busier and busier, on the verge of a big promotion. I kept putting my visit off, hoping in my mind he would hold on. He died, and I got my promotion. I haven't seen him in 15 years. When he died, I told myself it didn't matter what I didn't see him. Being an atheist, I rationalized that being dead, it wouldn't matter anyway. What was I thinking? Rationalizing everything, making excuses to put things off. Excuses, procrastination, it all leads to one thing: nothing. I rationalized that financial security was the most important thing. I now know that it is definitely not. I regret doing nothing with my energy when I had it, my passions, my youth. I regret letting my job take over my life. I regret being an awful husband, a money-making machine. I regret not finishing my novel, not traveling the world, not being emotionally there for my son, being a damn emotionless wallet. If you're reading this and you have a whole life ahead of you, please don't procrastinate. Don't leave your dreams for later. Relish in your energy, your passions. Don't stay on the internet with all your spare time, unless your passions need it. Please do something with your life while you are young. Do not settle down at 20. Do not forget your friends, your family, yourself. Do not waste your life, your ambitions, like I did mine. Do not be like me. Sorry for the long post, just had to get it out there. When I read it for the first time, it's hard to not feel emotional reading this guy pour out his heart. In this video, my promise to you is I will change how you view failure. I will shift how you think about fear, anxiety, dreams, ambitions, and goals forever. So, coming back to my story in the beginning, when I was thinking through, I've already had a base of customers because I started building my business really young, and I had two choices. I could either keep building the business or go to university, which was the option everybody expected me to take. Everybody expects you to go to university. If you are at this point in your life, trust me, I know the pressure you're feeling. Every side, someone is asking you, so what direction are you going to study? Who are you going to be in the future, right? All of those questions. And I remember how difficult for me it was to make that decision, because I thought that I am independent, that I can make decisions originally, but then I felt the weight of the world crashing down on me when I had to make this one. Now, what helped me in that moment was thinking about regrets I would have later in life. And I decided that if I went to university, now I'd quit pursuing building a business, and then I woke up at about 40 years old or 50 years old and realized that the only thing I have is regret for not pursuing that business, I think I couldn't live with it. I think that it would be too much. And that story I just read, I was afraid of this happening to me. On the other hand, when I would pursue the business, there was a higher risk associated with it. You might fail. 90% of businesses fail. But I knew that if I actually pursued that and gave it my all and fail, I could live with myself. I could live as a failure. There is nothing scary about failing in something, but there is something scary about regretting the decisions that you make and regretting the choices that you cannot make again. So when I visualize those two paths, the path of courage and the path of comfort, to me, the path of courage is the only actual way that you can go about this, because the path of comfort will kill you in the long term. It will kill you, maybe not literally, but it will kill you inside. That version of me, the one who wanted to play it safe, is gone. That guy doesn't exist, and I'm never bringing him back. You think that the risk is trying and failing, but I will tell you what the real risk is. The real risk is you waking up in 15 years and thinking what could have been and what you could have done. There is a price for inaction, for not doing anything. It's just you pay it in 15 years. You pay the price of courage right now, but the price of inaction, the price of not trying to fulfill your dreams, you pay that in 15 years. And it's a price that you don't want to pay, because you pay with your soul. If you're watching this, it's not random. You've been thinking about making a move, and this is your sign. Go and never look back. There is this quote from Bukowski: find what you love and let it kill you. Go after that thing. It's the only option you have. You don't need permission. You need to bet on yourself, because no one else is coming to save you. If you've ever been afraid of chasing something that you care about, this is your sign. Do it. Not because it's easy, but because you can't drop the regret later on. It's a weight that you carry forever. Subscribe, and let's build the life worth fighting for.